Time I would like to invite our CEO, Renee Hamilton, up to say a few words. Then I would like to invite Michael up next. There's Michael. And then you
Good, and I'll take over from there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, as Terry said, this is a very exciting day to welcome Pat back home. It has really been an exciting year to have Rosa and Martin to have 3 eaglets, which proved to be exciting but yet a challenge. And so it really took a lot of folks to basically make sure that we got them to be able to leave the nest. And it basically took all of you. And so I just want to acknowledge, first of all, our volunteers who were on it. When the eaglets fell out of the nest, you were on it, you were calling Terry. We want to thank Billy for being there to basically rescue and to help us. We also had Dr. Burwell to basically help out and take care of the eagles. And of course, Ed and his team basically looking after Pat for the last 3 months. And our partnership with the Conservancy has been wonderful. This means a lot to us because, you know, just the nature. And we actually have a lot of partners within our school systems, and the Eagle Cam has been a great hit for us. And so we're just so excited to be here. We thank all of you for being here, our maintenance team for making this all clear.
Great job.
And so we greatly appreciate that. And I cannot say enough about this man right here, Terry Hoffman, who has been fantastic. I teased him. I said, "These are your grandbabies." And you know, whenever something happens, he is always right there, just making sure that these eaglets and the eagles are taken care of as best we can. So thank all of you for being here, and I will turn it over to Michael.
Sure. Well, thank you, Renee. And I just want to echo pretty much everything that Renee said. Like, we couldn't do it without the people that are here right now and some of the people who are not. From the ones taking care of the eagles, from Dr. Burwell at Wildlife Vet Care, to Ed and his team at the Wildlife Virginia Center, getting these eagles in a place where they can be released and they're healthy and they will succeed and hopefully thrive out in nature where they belong. And of course, our volunteers. We could not do this without all of you for watching the cams, moderating the chats, being our eagle experts, really providing that knowledge to make it a great experience for the students, for the residents, for everyone. So this has been an immensely successful program. And I also want to thank the Dulles Greenway for having us help steward this property. It's really an incredible property, and these eagles that nest here are just the tip of the iceberg on what's so cool about this property. So we're really excited. We're really thankful, despite all of the issues and drama that the nest had this year. We've had like 3 eagles pledge, and this is the 3rd eagle to be back in the wild here. So we're overjoyed that this is the end result, and it's due to all of your hard work. So I just, from the bottom of our hearts, we just cannot thank you all enough for making this happen, because this is really incredible. So thank you, and I'll turn it back over to you, Terry.
We'll leave it up to Ed.
All right, well, let's get down to getting down now. All right, so we, obviously, Dr. Burwell's been a friend for many, many years, and I actually advised her in the founding of the Blue Ridge Wildlife Center, so we've been friends for a very long time, and Bird was certainly in great hands in her care. She's an extremely knowledgeable wildlife veterinarian and a dear friend. And I'm so pleased she was here to help, because this bird, really nothing wrong with it other than falling out of the nest, you know. And I suppose if you fall out of the top bunk with enough vigor, it can knock you for a loop. And that's basically all that was going on. The bird, Belinda had taken great initial care of the bird. When we got it, the bird was somewhat dehydrated, certainly thin, and as a result of being on the ground, but we found no obvious injuries whatsoever. So the bird went into our flight cage that we characterize as number A3. And we have 3 eagle flight cages. 2 are 100 feet long, and this one is a little shorter, 85 feet, but it's much taller, it's 20 feet tall. And we have a balcony, a 2nd floor balcony in there, where we put an artificial nest for hatchling birds. Birds that have fallen out, jumped out, been dumped out, been pushed out, whatever, but they need a little more getting ready time, and so we put them in that artificial nest on that balcony, and then that balcony is closed off with wire mesh doors so they can see out. And in the big part of the flight cage, we put older birds so that they get the vocalizations, they get to see the birds, they know they're not parakeets or poodles. The only reason we have the doors is to keep the adult birds from stealing their food when we take it in. And we don't generally, once the birds go in there, we generally will not hand feed them because we don't want that any issue with imprinting. And the bird was well old enough not to have been imprinted, but that usually takes place within the first couple of weeks. But the bird did fine. As it got to the point that it came up out of the nest and started the stage of its life we refer to as branching, which is to come out of the nest and go sit someplace close where he can get back in if he gets a little woozy of being up that high, then we open the doors. And from there, the birds can move up onto the rail around the balcony, move out to the perches we have on either side, and from there they fly. And we have had people be very skeptical about, oh, you raise a bird in captivity and they'll never survive, their parents don't teach them how to hunt. Well, their parents don't teach them how to hunt in the wild. And so the biologists that used to say things about that, like that to us, we knew they were some other kind of biologists. They were not avian specialists. But we have put tracking devices on I think about 20 eagles over the years. We're no longer doing it now that they're no longer endangered or threatened. But what we have found is the survival rate of the birds we raise in captivity is significantly better than Mother Nature's own survival rate. And so we're very confident that this bird is going to take off out of here today and go do eagle stuff for a long and healthy life, we hope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and this is where the wrestling match begins. I'm getting too old for this stuff, but it's so much fun. But, and this is a big bird. So I'm going to get the bird out, and it's got a hood on now. I'll get it under control. Then we'll pull the hood off and be ready to go. But I need to hold him for a while because it's dark in the cage and he's had that hood on. So I don't want to blind him with a light and then toss him up where he'll fly into a tree. So, but when I'm holding him, we can get the pictures. You can see him and get a good look at him. And then we'll get everybody positioned, which will not be right in front of me because if they land on you, they'll leave an impression, I promise. 500 pounds of pressure per square inch in the grip of their feet. So we'll get everybody positioned, and then we're going to launch the bird that way. You need to get a good grip on those feet. Then, because that's where the damage is done. This wing up.
Josh, you need to get in closer.
Okay. Yeah, you're very unlikely to get much closer to one than this.
Yeah.
Hold your head up here. We get a lot of color variation among the birds. This is an unusually dark bird. Well, enough of that. We're going to grip here.
This one's a nibble.
That was a compliment.
How much does he weigh?
Well, for the first couple of minutes, this bird probably weighs about 7 pounds, 7 or 8 pounds. And then he gets heavier. And when that bird catches a fish, those talons go into the hill.
Or
Having
any
been
other
on
animal.
the receiving end of that, I can tell you that it's not forgettable anytime soon.
He's got roses.
You ready to go out on your own, kid?
Ready to go get a job? All right, so
It's a
I'm gonna.
male?
What's that?
Is it a male?
Yeah, it probably is. It's pretty small compared to some of the big females. So he's a big bird, but he's in terms of at this stage of their lives, the birds will weigh probably the most that they weigh at any point throughout their entire life. Because he hasn't really had to go work for a living and burn off that baby fat yet.
Okay.
He's been eating pretty well.
It's like a COVID baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now I'm going to move down here, and so you can stand on either side of me. That
We like to have Billy with you, since he's out wrestling like a couple 50.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Get up in the air, bird. All right, there you go. There you go.
Woo! Yay!
Get up in that breeze and go. He'll find a place. He may find a branch and sit someplace, and he